Hey everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we are making a pork roast. I love roast. Love, love, love all kinds of roast. Every Thursday at our restaurant is roast day, which is one of the big days of the week every single week. Pork roast doesn't sell quite as hot as a beef roast. I don't know why. Pork roast is my favorite. But it's one of those things, when you love it, you love it. If you think, pork roast, I'm not that big of a fan, I would encourage you to give it a shot. I mean, really give it a shot. It's so dadgum good when it's a local pasture raised. Ooh, so good. So anywho, the one we're making today is balsamic pork roast. It's nice. It's a little tangy, a little sweet, super, super good. You can serve it as as an entree. You can make it into all the things that I've talked about with all the roasts. Enchiladas, nachos, tacos. It's just so very, very versatile. You can chunk it up and throw it in a soup. Lots and lots and lots of options. So I'm going to get the camera flipped down. This is a very quick, comes together easily. I'm going to do mine in the oven. It's just typically what I do. When my kids were young and I was working like a crazy person and going everywhere, I did crock pots a lot. And that's great. You can do this in a crock pot, super, super easy. You do everything we're fixing to do in the crock pot. Put it in there, cook it on. I would usually do low for like 8 hours, 8 or 9 hours while I'm gone to work. My typical approach was prep everything the evening before, throw my crock in the refrigerator. The next morning, get it out, drop it in the thing, turn it on low, set a timer for 8 hours or 9, go to work, come home, the house smells amazing, the food's done. Super, super awesome. Sweet and easy. But I'm going to do this one in the oven just because that's what I do now. I don't know. I just like to use my oven. So whatever, that's just me. I'm going to flip the camera down. We'll get busy prepping this. You're going to be like, are you kidding me? This is how easy this is. And then it'll go in the oven for 4.5 hours. And then we'll pull it out and I'll show you the final product. And it's going to be wonderful. So be right back. Okay, so what we've got here is a 4-pound pork butt. This is from one of our pigs. Yay, I'm so excited about it. And look at this. I'm going to throw a glove on just so I don't get my hands ultra googly before I'm prepping all this. But look how red that meat is. That's what pork is supposed to look like. It should look just a little bit lighter than beef. Not that kind of white, grayish stuff you find in the grocery store. So anyway, that was your little PSA there. But we've got 4 pounds, and we're going to season it with a half a teaspoon of salt, garlic powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper flakes. So I've got my salt, and I got my 1/4 teaspoon out just because I'm being lazy and didn't want to do 2 separate measuring. So there is our half teaspoon of salt. And then we've got a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper flakes. And I used to put some of this on, pick it up, rub it all over, do all the things. And I don't do that. I mean, I guess maybe that is a good step, but I just don't do it anymore. To me, it's just an extra step. You got to handle it all. I just sprinkle everything on top, and as it's cooking, it goes down in, it runs into the juice, and it just makes everything wonderful. And then we've got our garlic powder, which again is a half teaspoon. And this is so super fine. It's a little bit harder to get it to sprinkle somewhat evenly. So you just do the best you can. Okay. So that's that with the seasoning. And then, that can sit in there. And then we're going to mix up our glaze type stuff we're going to put on top. So you need a cup of chicken stock. This is some of my homemade chicken stock that I remember I've showed y'all a million times, that I'll freeze in 1 cup increments because that just seems to work out best for me. And I've started, I have frozen them in these delis for a long time, but I've started doing them in the little sandwich Ziploc bags because you can just lay them flat and then they stand up. They don't hardly take up any room in the freezer. It's fantastic. Okay, so I've got 1 cup of stock, and then we're going to do 2/3 of a cup of balsamic vinegar. Got a really good Italian balsamic here that has such a nice flavor. And this stuff smells amazing and lasts a very long time. All right, so that's 2/3 of a cup. And then we need a couple tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, or however you say that. I buy a brand called Portlandia. That's super good. It's organic. And I switch it into this old Lee and Perrins bottle because the Portlandia bottles don't have the little shaker, top like this one does. I don't know if y'all can even see what the heck I'm doing, but it's like this little deal. It just pours straight out, which is fine when you're doing something like this, but we'll put the sauce on our pork chops and our steaks before we grill it, so it's a whole lot easier with that little lid on it. So you got your stock, vinegar, and Worcestershire sauce. Just going to mix that up real good. And then we're going to pour this over our roast, just kind of easy, so it doesn't just, immediately wash off the seasoning that you put on there. Just kind of make sure you cover the whole thing. Whew, that smells yummy. This is such a good dish because it's just kind of sweet and sour almost. And then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I got sugar crystallized coming off the side of my jar here. You can use honey, but I don't really like to cook my honey that long, and it's not real hot. It's going to be 325. I just don't like it cooked that long because it changes the structure of the honey when it's under that kind of heat for that long. So you'll drizzle your honey / maple syrup, 2 tablespoons, over the top. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of water. And I'm just going to pour that around the side. I should have had that and I didn't, so I'll grab that real quick. Okay, I've got a little Maple Valley. Listen to me, Mountain Valley spring water. So I'm just going to do a 1/2 cup. Oh, wow. There's just a squirt extra, so I'm just going to do it all. Now this you don't pour on top of the meat because, like I said, you don't want to wash all the seasoning and stuff off. Just pour it around. And what we're going to do, we're going to cover this. Now I have a lid to this dish. It's back somewhere, I don't know, here in my kitchen. Oh, it's over there. But it's just a glass lid and it's not going to seal real well. So what I'm going to do is put a piece of tin foil over this and kind of tint it up so it doesn't sit on my meat. You don't want that, because if that tin foil is sitting on that meat, the acidic nature of the meat and the balsamic vinegar will eat through the foil. And then you'll have little dots of tin foil stuck to your meat, which is disgusting. So I'm just going to tint a piece of tin foil, and I'll get that and do it here in just a second. And then I'm going to set my lid on top just to help keep it sealed up real good. And then it's going to go in the oven for 4.5 hours on 325. And then once it comes out, cools down some, I'll shred it, toss it in that juice that's going to evaporate some. And oh my gosh, is it divine. So hold tight. All right, here's a little tip. If keeping your foil off, tinting it, it's not hard, but it takes a little bit of handwork. So the other thing you can do is just throw a piece of parchment paper over it. My parchment's kind of big, so I just fold it like that. All I'm worried about is keeping the tin foil off the meat. So this is probably going to sound super obnoxious, but we're just going to put it down. And see, I run my fingers around and get a good seal, because the whole thing is you want to keep moisture in the dish. You don't want, and this is with any roast, the 2 things that I tell people all the time. You want a good roast, there are 2, well, I guess I'll say 3, but to me, 1 goes without saying. You want a good quality, hopefully local piece of meat. Pasture-raised, local meat. That's kind of an unspoken rule in my mind. So that's one. But the other is you want it bone in. Bones make all the difference. They add vitamins, minerals. There's connective tissue. It's adding collagen and gelatin. It's just making a much more nutritious meal. And you want it sealed tight, not to lose any of the moisture. So we've got ours covered. It's sealed real good. I'm going to set this glass lid down on here. It's just a little extra oomph in the seal. And this is going to go in the oven for 4.5 hours. And then we'll pull it out, let it cool some, shred it, get it all in that au jus. And that served on top of rice, pasta, potatoes is so dang good. So it's going to be a few hours, but we'll be back. Okay, here we go. Just pulled this out of the oven. It's been in there for 4.5 hours. Yes, it's quite hot. And also, get the parchment paper out of the way. Yum. So this, I mean, look at that, how tender that is. It just shreds apart. Yum. So what I'm going to do before I burn myself up is let this cool. And then I'm going to take my forks, kind of like I'm doing here, and shred the meat. And if I was serving it tonight, then I would just, you know, let it get down in this juicy juice and serve it. But what I like to do is, I'll take this fat off. I'm going to shred it up and pop it in the refrigerator and let the grease, you know, the rendered fat solidify, and it'll like make a little layer on top, and then I can pull it out of the refrigerator and just pick that fat right off the top. And y'all know how I am about eating fat, but that's just a little much. And then have the meat in the kind of au jus juice and hog out. And this is such a great, look at that, how tender. Such a great dish to do a million different things like I talked about earlier. One thing I like to do is make grilled cheese with the shredded pork in it. Put some roasted red peppers, a little pesto, some stone ground mustard. Good golly, it's good. And grill that. That's a yummy one. So anyway, this is it. Balsamic pork roast. I'm going to sit here and shred the whole thing while I'm running my mouth and drooling. Y'all try this one. I think you'll really, really like it. And again, you can serve it for dinner one night, split up the rest, freeze it, have it, pull it out real quick when you want to have nachos or make a grilled cheese with some good pork in it or whatever. Whatever works for you. But give it a shot. It is a yummy one. So I will see y'all here on the next video.